Hey, it's Cody from Tarot Readings from a Bitch. Serving a little Forks vibes with my cloth here. Um, I have a pretty cool deck that I wanted to do a little flip through and talk about a little bit. This is the Lantern Guide deck. It's by Amy Brewer Davenport. This is indie. I do want to mention this deck's status for right now. I did back the Kickstarter for this. Um, I've been in contact with the deck's creator. Um, there are some extra decks left over that are available on her website for purchase. I'll put the link down in the description box, but they're limited. So, just so that's out there, when you're looking at this, at the time that I'm filming this, there are still some. I have no idea if it's like 3 or if it's like 20 or anything like that. I did check just before I started filming. They're $50 US on the site. She's got tons of other stuff, beautiful artwork. So yeah, check it out for yourself. Link will be in the description box. So yeah, we'll just dig into it. We come in a little talk box here. This is Welcome to the Forest. In this deck, you will find many expected characters in the form of the Major Arcana, as well as an entirely new set of suits: birds, lanterns, trees, and dwellers. Please use the deck in whatever way you see fit, as a traditional spread reading deck, inspirational writing, or art prompts. Meditation. Oh my god. Guides, maybe? This deck invites your imagination to wander. Not my favorite background for text. I will say that, but yeah, it's ultimately that's neither here nor there when I'm really talking about the deck. So since this was a Kickstarter, I did get a few extra things that I will show really quick. I don't know if any of this stuff these are things that you can get on the website. I didn't actually check, or not, but figured I'd just show it off. Sorry if you can't get it. This is a little lantern pin. This is actually a business card. Here is the website, but you can just wait and click the link if you want. This is a mushroom sticker. I love this. Okay, when I get like stickers that I really love, I know that I'm never going to stick this anywhere. Like, what if I stick it somewhere and like 30 seconds later I'm like, fuck, I should have put it here instead. So I'll just save this forever. I don't know. Maybe I'll even get crazy and just like laminate it so nothing bad happens to it, because I do have a laminator. Okay. This is, I believe, people who backed the Kickstarter got a card. This is actually one of the cards from the deck. It's signed. This was my Ace of Dwellers, or Pentacles. This, I don't want to say one of my favorite cards because I feel like I can't be saying every card is my favorite card in this deck, but possums are quite possibly some of my absolute favorite creatures in the whole like screaming thing. Also, I got this little print. Okay, oh Jesus, I put this in the frame. It did not come in a frame. Wow, that is hard to see. It's like trees, little lights hanging in them. It almost looks like a swamp, maybe. These are also the card backs. So yeah, this did not come in the frame. I put it there. So here's like a little guide, the only sort of guide that you get with this deck. We'll look at this after I kind of talk about some of the other aspects of the deck. So you may have noticed this is called the Lantern Guide deck. It does not say tarot. This can be used as a tarot deck, but it doesn't have to be, as the back said, if you even could understand my atrocious reading of it. So we've got the card backs. These are just smaller versions of that print that I showed you. We've got gilding on the edge. Okay, so the cards. Okay, some of these, it's a very textured sort of artwork. You can really just see the paint, sort of. You know, and while I love that, I love this art style. Gives it sort of a little bit of an abstract feel. Sometimes when you're too close to the cards, maybe not this one so much, but it's a little bit difficult to tell what's going on in some of these. So we are going to just keep the camera a little bit farther away here. So here's the Fool. I don't know if that's a braid crown, what exactly that is. This, without necessarily the traditional symbolism, I just feel like this is so absolutely perfect for a Fool card. Put this guy over here. Damn, I'm trying to make a fucking cute setup and the shit's in the way the whole time. Alright, the Magician. There's the High Priestess. The Empress. Love her. I'm a fan of decks that don't just, like, shit out a pregnant lady for the Empress. Okay, this is the Emperor. Normally, I hate the Emperor card in decks. I don't like it. But this one just has this, it almost sets the tone for how this deck feels. It looks like, kind of a nice bark texture. His face here, he just looks very kind and fair, like the father figure that I personally would feel comfortable approaching, for help or something. Thinking about like Rider-Waite-Smith, a lot of decks. The Emperor feels very unapproachable. Honestly, I want nothing to do with his ass, but this one, I do. For some reason, this deck... Okay. Sorry, we're gonna go on a little aside here. My practice surrounds a couple of spirits. I don't know. One is... It's not just mine to discuss or to share with other people. This one has been with me my whole life. A lot of times he appears as a deer, a lot of times in dream work. Or even aside from dream work, I was having dreams about a deer or a guy with antlers, telling me things since I was a child. And at the time I was like, that's fun, that's like a little silly kitty thing or some shit. Reality is he's something else, right? At one point, I kind of thought maybe he was the whole Cernunnos, horned god kind of thing. The more research I did on that, the more I started feeling like it was not that. The overbearing sort of... I don't know. He's a much softer energy, and actually the spirit is a thing that I work with on a daily basis. And I have been searching for years for a deck that I felt like captured that energy. And I kept going for, foresty decks. I'd be like, maybe that's not the right thing. Trying to look at deity decks. But if anything, included Cernunnos or the Horned God or the Horned One or all that shit, it still never felt like what it was that I was working with. And I honestly gave up. And then I saw this deck, and I was like, I still love foresty decks, regardless of if I feel like they're going to connect me to the energy of the spirit that I work with or not. But once I really actually got it in my hands, I was like, this is it. That it's here. So this card, for me, has kind of been a revelation. You're probably just like, I don't know, man, just looks like a fucking dirty hippie face on a tree, but to me, this is a big deal, okay? Alright. The Hierophant. This guy almost looks like maybe it could be death. I don't know. From far away, I was looking at this like knives or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Beautiful. The Lovers. The Chariot. I feel like a lot of these cards are very recognizable, even though they don't contain any sort of traditional tarot symbolism. Here's Strength. The Hermit. Well, look at us. Running into, like, crouching antlered men amid the trees. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. The way this deck is made feels very grounding. Like, I don't know, just see the canvas through this? I mean, it's just naked ass canvas right there. I don't know how to explain to you how much I love this deck. Here's Justice. This is one of those cards, if I get up close to it, I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. When you back up, it's a person with their arm bent there, and here's a very fancy bow and a quiver of arrows on the back. Here's the Hanged Man. This gives me some Fae energy. Here's Death. Here's Temperance. The Devil. So there are a lot of birds in this deck. And so I feel like the devil being depicted as a cat is, I don't know, it cracks me up. I feel like it's thematically accurate. Here's the Tower. I'm not 100% sure. This is one of those cards I think that I'm going to need to sit with for a little while to try and fit what this is showing into the idea of the Tower. I mean, I'm seeing stained glass. Is this the church? You know, bursting into the woods that people once worshipped. Holy shit, a fly. These fucking flies this time of year pissing me off. Alright, the Star. The Moon. I really like that this is centered on the new moon rather than the full moon going across the sky. Here's the Sun. It's simple. I think this is one of my favorite Sun cards. I love that I can, like, actually see, like, the paint sticking up on the canvas. Also, I have a special burning hatred for fucking naked babies smiling on horseback for the sun, so I love when card or decks subvert that. Judgment. It's fucking awesome. And the World. So now we're to the minors. So these have their own suits. There's birds, lanterns, trees, and dwellers. So if a person were to use this as a tarot deck, they'll line up. I will say that they're not probably how I would have equated, you know, birds, lanterns, trees, and dwellers with the elements the way that it has been done. But to me, honestly, I can make it make sense, and it's fine to me. If I'm using this as a tarot deck. A lot of times I don't. I just pull some shit out of my ass for it, you know, whole intuition stuff. So here's the Ace of Birds, and the birds are wands. There's the 2. Jesus. 3. 4 of birds. 5 of birds. I think we're looking through a keyhole right here. 6 of birds. 7 of birds. 8 of birds. 9 of birds. 10 of birds. Here's the Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. So This deck is maybe a bit pippish. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't even exactly have pips. Like, the miners don't have, 8 birds in the 8 of birds. But again, without the traditional tarot symbolism, some cards are sort of devoid of very much symbolism at all. That's why I tend to approach this deck not from a tarot perspective. Okay, so here we're on to lanterns. And lanterns are... Let me see. Lanterns are cups. Here's our ace. Our 2. Our 3. Here comes a bear. 4 of lanterns. 5 of lanterns. 6 of lanterns. 7 of lanterns. 8 of lanterns. 9 of lanterns. 10 of lanterns. Here's the page. The knight. Is that a person? The queen. And the king of lanterns. I do have to say that one of my least favorite things about this deck is the way that the titles are sometimes on the top and sometimes on the bottom. I do understand why it was done like that. I think a lot of this was previously made artwork. And just the style of it was difficult, to just... I don't know. I mean, you can't really... I don't know. The way the cards are formatted, it might have almost benefited from, like, a little bit of a border on the bottom. But, it is what it is. Here we are, the Ace of Trees. And trees in this deck are swords. Air energy. Here's the 2. 3 of trees. So this is the same art as the backs. So this would be equal to the 3 of swords. Flooding, maybe? I don't know. 4 of trees. 5 of trees. 6 of trees. 7 of trees. 8 of trees. 9 of trees. For sure that's a fire. The 10 of trees. I don't really get, the Rider-Waite-Smith destruction and ruin from this card. So, again, one of the reasons that I don't tend to approach this through the lens of any traditional tarot meanings. Alright, we've got the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. Now we are at the final suit. These are dwellers, and these are the pentacles. This suit is my favorite. We've got our little possum here. The 2 of dwellers. Are these like mer people? I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at on the bottom here. Here's the 3 of dwellers. 4 of dwellers. 5 of dwellers. Mr. Tumnus come in here to welcome you into the woods, I guess. 6 of dwellers. 7 of dwellers. You're walking too slow for Mr. Tumnus. 8 of dwellers. We've got a fox. The 9 of dwellers. Got a little fairy party out here. This just looks so cozy. I wish I had been invited. 10 of dwellers. we've got Pippin as the Page of Dwellers. Here's the Knight of Dwellers. Here's the Queen of Dwellers. And our King. So this deck has filled a very specific spot in my collection. I have some decks, you know, that can be used for, you know, I have like a general reading kind of things. I have, you know, more specific reading, you know, relationships, or this one's good for creative kind of stuff, or, you know, but this is one of those decks that has a very specific job, and actually this is the deck with the most specific job that I use the most often. Yeah, the gilding, I like how it looks. It's shiny and luxurious. I've used this deck quite a bit, and like the gilding still looks good. I will say that I don't know if it's just my copy. Maybe it's all of them. It doesn't want to shuffle with the backs up. I don't know. It's almost like there might be a little bit of a lip or something that the cards catch. But it does shuffle beautifully. That way, as long as you don't mind your fronts facing up. If you're doing backs, they fall in chunks. I mean, it's not the worst shuffle. It could be better that way. Honestly, I could probably, if I just kept shuffling it that way, would probably eventually wear whatever's sticking up here. So yeah, here, this was Amy Brewer Davenport's The Lantern Guide deck. So, thanks for looking at this with me, and thanks for watching. Bye.